Hey guys, this is Broadus back again with another video, and in today's video what I want to discuss with you is the importance of having a wingman, especially when you go out to party. And this video, it comes from a true story of me and a friend of mine, and hey, lesson learned. Anyway, at the time, me and my homeboy, we were both stationed in South Korea at the time. So this is years ago, okay? We were stationed in South Korea, and understand something about my boy. He's Caucasian, or white, but I call him white chocolate because he got swag and he got flavor, and he sounded like a brother, and he was raised up in the dirty South, in the hood, around black folks. So obviously, it would explain, why he's like that, why his background. But anyway, to get to the point, me and him were talking, and so I started telling him about, hey, about this drink called sake. Now, sake, I'm quite sure most people know it's a rice wine that's made in Asia. But anyway, I got exposed to it when I was in Japan, and so I'm telling him about it, how it's smooth, etc., and how it makes me feel. And so what happened is that we start comparing notes, and he started bringing up drinks that we used to drink back in the hood. He said, well, I bet you that sake, it ain't got nothing, on Mad Dog 2020, some Wild Irish Rose, some Boone's Farm, some Thunderbird. I said, I'm telling you, and I call him white chocolate, I call him B. For sure. So I was like, hey, B, I said, I'm telling you. I said, this sake, it's that do it to it juice. And so he was like, yeah, right. So anyway, I said, okay, all right. I said, I'm gonna put you on to it. So what happened is that we went off base and went downtown to, I'm gonna say, city in South Korea. Now at the time we both were non-commissioned officers, and for force protection, the United States government had decided to keep all military members and most civilians on base. So we stayed in the same dormitory. But anyway, so we go down, go off base to go get a 12-pack. And I'm talking about, understand something, the sake I drank in Japan when I first got exposed, it was of much better quality. But this sake was in South Korea, I'm talking about, it was the rock gut. I'm talking about Chungha was the name of it. But to give you a description of what type of drink this was, it would be the equivalent of probably like 40 ounces. I'm talking about like Schlitz malt liquor, or either Old English, 800, private stock. I'm talking about, it was the rock gut, But anyway, so we go downtown to go pick up a 12-pack of this Chungha, and I think we went to the Class 6. And now the Class 6 is basically the liquor store that's on the military base or the military post, for those of you that may not know what it is. But anyway, so we pick up I think we picked up a 6 or 8 22-ounce cans of Heinekens. Now on that particular night, the U.S. Soul Tour was going on base at the club. So they had comedians, Tommy Davidson, I believe Sinbad, and Joe Torre that were going to be performing that night. But anyway, so at the time, so I'm in my dorm room, right? And I had already showered up and decided to be ready early. But at the time, I had this, I'm talking about this dope stereo system, and I'm talking about, we had it cranked. I'm talking about, it was yanking, and so we up in there getting all hype. You know how we do it. You know how we do it, fellas. We get a little bit hype talking about what we gonna do when we get to the club. But anyway, what happened is that my boy threw down like about 22 ounces, 2 cans of the Heineken, and he drank 3 12-ounce bottles, of this rock gut Chungha. I'm talking about, we drank it straight with no chaser. I drank, because I was used to drinking sake, so I figured out, I got it, I'm good, I can handle it. So what I did, I drank like 3 bottles, and I had 3 Heinekens. I'm talking about, and we was guzzling. And so we got all hyped up, and we start making up dances. Hey, baby, this what we gonna do. When we get to the club, we're talking about, yeah, we gonna do the windmill, baby. So we gonna do the windmill, so we getting all hyped, pulling the kid and play, And anyway, make a long story short, so my boy, said to me, he said, hey, he said, let me go take a shower. I'm gonna go get ready. He said, I'll be ready in like about 15, 20 minutes. So he leaves my room. Now understand something here, you know what I'm saying? So I'm waiting on him, right? And I was like, I said, that's odd. Understand something about my boy. He was never, ever late. I'm talking about he was always punctual. He's never late. And so I'm like, hey, wait a minute, man. It's like 20 minutes don't go on by. Next, it's like 25 minutes. And so I gave him to like about 30. And by a half hour, I was like, hey, something ain't right. So I go into this fool's room, and I'm talking about everything I'm telling you. This is a true Hollywood story. I could not make this up. I open up his door. I'm talking about this dude was laid. He was passed out in a fetal position with nothing but his drawers on, and he was sucking his thumb, and his room looked like bombs over Baghdad. Now, on top of that, to add, to the madness, he was over there by himself, unaccompanied. Now, unaccompanied is when a married military member is over there without his family. So his wife was back in the States. Well, to add to that, his wife called him twice, and he's the type he could talk in his sleep. So when his wife called him on the phone, he picked the phone up, hello, bam, hung up on her. He did it twice. And so I'm looking, and I'm baffled. And before I was like, what in the world? I was like, I didn't know this dude couldn't handle it. And he was talking about that this Chung Ha Saki ain't got nothing on Cisco, and which, by the way, when I was in the hood, I never could finish a full bottle of Cisco. But anyway, moving along. So this fool is laying out. I'm talking about he's in the fetal position, sucking his thumb, crawled up with nothing but his drawers on. I'm talking about, I wish I would have had YouTube back then, because this stuff would have been on World Star Hip Hop. Anyway, so he's talking to me in his sleep. So I said, B, I thought we supposed to be going to the club, to the all-nighter. And so he pulls up from sucking his thumb. He's like, E, I will meet you in the club in 15 minutes. And so I kind of pulled like the Smokey, on Friday. I was like, for real? You gonna be there for real? And so he said, E, I will meet you at the club in 15 minutes. I said, you gonna be there for real? He was like, then he told me a third. He said, E, I will meet you at the club in 15 minutes. And so I said, all right, man. So, bam. So I closed the door, right? And so I figured, say, hey, I'm good. I got a little buzz or something like that. So I said, whatever, I'm good. I got this. I guess I'll go do this by myself, whatever. And that's the first time I'd ever went out in South Korea without a wingman, because we're actually told to make sure we stay in pairs. But anyway, so I step out. Now remember, in my dormitory, we both lived on the 4th floor, so I was up 4 stories. So I want you to remember that, because we're going to come back to that. Anyway, moving along. So, I roll out, I'm G'd up, I'm ready, I'm rolling down to the club. Club ain't but maybe it was walking distance, maybe a couple of blocks. So I roll up in there, boom, roll up in the club, with my swag. I said, I'm thinking I'm ready. And so I get into the club. Now, the club at the bar, it had platform stairs to get to the bar. So I roll up to the bar, and I said, bartender, I said, hey, give me a Tanqueray and juice. I said, double it up. I said, and make it strong. So, boom, he hits me up, slash me with a little bit of orange juice in there. And so what happened is that I was going to knock it back, because I said, yeah, I'm fitting to kill it up in here tonight. Boom! So I went to knock it back, and immediately, whoo, I spit the drink back in the glass, because what happened is that immediately I couldn't put it down, because my head was completely sober. My head was completely sober, but everything from the neck down just went into a state of paralysis. I mean, I could not feel anything. I said, oh, this is what I'm thinking in my head. I said, uh-oh. I said, oh, man. I said, E. I said, man, I think you in bad shape, brother. And I'm talking about, I was on some Fred Sanford, like, oh, Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you, honey. I'm talking about, I was like that. And so somehow I managed to stagger. So I staggered down the platform stairs, and then I somehow dragged myself into the ballroom where the comedy show was going on and where the all-nighter was going to be, because they're going to have a dance afterwards. So what happened is that I got stuck, stuck up on the wall. And so I still got the same drink in my hand, okay? And so what happened is that I guess I must have went past the saturation point to where my head was sober, but I couldn't feel anything. And so I couldn't even open my mouth. Literally, I was stuck just like this. And I had people that were like maybe 3 feet from me, 4 feet from me. Now, understand something. Normally, I'm pretty sociable. And, I'm friendly. I normally speak to everybody. But I couldn't open my mouth and I couldn't move my neck. So the only thing I could do was move my eyes. I could only move them from like left to right. So I'm pulling a Christopher Reeve after he got paralyzed. I cannot make this up. And so people were going by me, and so they were saying, "Yo, E, what's up?" And so what happened, I couldn't get my mouth open, so I couldn't say nothing. And so they were looking at me, well, what's wrong with him? He normally speak. And so what I wanted to do, I was hoping that maybe I could fall on somebody. It's like, please, give me home. I'm cooked, I'm done. I'm talking about I was cooked, Turned up ain't the word. I'm talking about you probably could have put like 10 pounds of grease through me in the oven, put me back on the stove, and I still wouldn't have been able to have been done enough the way I was that night. But anyway, so I'm thinking in my mind, I said, oh my gosh. I said, oh man. I said, is this what a stroke feel like? I said, oh man. So then I started making deals with God. I said, oh man. I said, maybe. Man, I said, I know, Lord. I said, I know I pushed it. I pushed things. I've done a lot of things. I said, but I think I might have pushed this too far. I said, is my kidneys fitting to fail? I said, is my body shutting down? Because I absolutely could not move. And I knew if I took one step forward, I was instantly, bam, went straight down, probably would have broke my nose. And the strangest thing about it, it seems that whenever you are at your neediest, it seems like you can't get a hold of nobody. It's like everybody is clueless around you. I'm just like, please, please help me. Please help me. But I couldn't open my mouth. People just kept on going by me, and I stayed posted up on that wall for probably, I think I shut the club down. But so I'm up here making deals with God, talking about, I said, oh God, I said, they're gonna have to cart me out of here, take me to the emergency room. They're gonna have to do an EKG or something on me, or a brain scan. I said, I wonder what part of my brain shut down, because I can't feel anything. And so I said, if you get me, please. I said, if you get me out of this, I said, I'll repent. And I said, please. I said, forgive me. I said, I know I pushed it. And so I was stuck up on that wall, shutting the club down, pulling a Christopher Reeve, but nothing, a brother could do nothing but move his eyes, mouth was closed. And so you can imagine, I got all these thoughts, and this is real talk, all these thoughts are going through my head. I said, oh man, I said, I'm stuck up against, I said, what if I gotta go to the bathroom? I said, oh man, I said, I'm just gonna be stuck up here and just pee, just gonna start running down my leg. Cause, what you gonna do? You can't ask no dude, be like, hey, I'm messed up, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Can you get me to the bathroom? It's like, hey dude, you on your own. Then, even if they would have dragged me to the bathroom, and I'm going to keep it real, and for the sake, I'm going to call the male appendage Johnson, okay? But anyway, even if they would have dragged me to the bathroom and either would have put me to the toilet or either, up against the urinal, I'm talking about I was so tore back. I'm talking my head was sober, but the body was paralyzed. I couldn't unzip my fly, and pull the Johnson out and aimed it in the urinal. That's real talk right there. And you can't ask them to do it, be like, can you unzip my fly? And can you pull a Johnson? You're going to get knocked out, because, I can't do anything. I can't aim it, I can't pull it out, So I'm talking about I was stuck, and it really scared me for a minute, because I'm just like, wait a minute, up in here, it's like, I'm not drunk or anything. I'm straight sober, My head is straight sober, but just totally could not move, and I do not know how I was able to hold that drink for all those hours and not even drop it, but I couldn't feel anything. And so I'm thinking to myself, it's like, oh man, it's like, I'm in management. I said, I got people up under me. I said, man, if I piss up in this club and pee on myself up in this club, the MPs, they're going to take me out of here. My first sergeant's going to have to come get me. And then Monday morning, I will be standing in dress blues in front of my commander with my supervisor trying to explain why, Sergeant Broadus, why did you pee on yourself up in the club? You don't have, better control of your alcohol. But this is not the end of the story. So anyway, so finally I staggered. Got myself off the wall. I was the last person to leave. Boom! Put it down. You know, I was the last person. There might have been maybe about a little bit of the staff left. So boom! I finally put the drink down, and then I gathered up enough strength to stagger myself straight out. And I'm talking about, man, on that base that night, it felt like it was a cold game. I said, man, ain't nobody gonna help me. I mean, this is the time when I need it. It's like everybody just cleared out and just left me behind. I was left for dead. Anyway, I staggered back to my dormitory, and remember I told you I got four stories to go because I'm all the way at the top. So what happened is that I was gonna try to walk, you know what I'm saying, but I just bam, bit it, you know what I'm saying, went down on my knees, and I'm talking about I was low crawling, you know, like an infant. So I crawled up one stair at a time. You know, 4 flights of stairs, and then on top of that, to make matters worse, my dorm room was all the way on the other side. And I'm talking about that's a long hallway. So I finally, on my knees, I opened the door up, you know, finally struggled through there and hoping, you know what I'm saying, that somebody is going to see me crawling and they'll pick me up and just drag me to my room. You know, nobody. I'm talking about nobody. I guess everybody must have been getting their swerve on, or they must have been drunk too. You know, so nobody to help a brother out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's a dirty game, right? But anyway, so I crawled all the way to my room on my knees and my elbows. I finally opened my door up on my knees, and my bed was like about maybe about 3 feet, you know what I'm saying, to like 3 to like maybe 4 feet high. But I know normally I could easily just, you know, get up on it. But I was stuck, and so I was stuck in the praying position. And so I tried to crawl up and roll over, and it's like bam! I just got stuck. And so after I tried to get in the bed after 3 tries, it took me like maybe about 35 minutes. I'm sweating profusely, and so I just got stuck. So let me just lay here just for a couple of minutes. And so I got stuck in the praying position. And so after the 3rd try, I just said forget it, and I just rolled over, just bang, you know, passed out with my door open, just sprawled out. And so I didn't wake up till like maybe I think maybe 8:30 or something like that the next morning when my boy came in. So he had finally woken up, and then he came and he looked at me. He said, what you doing on the floor, man? And I'm talking about a puddle of sweat, you know what I'm saying? I said, hey, B, I said, it's that chung ha, baby. It's that do it that got to me, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, the moral of the story is this. Now, it's to always have a wingman if you're going to go out partying or drinking, because sometimes we might overindulge, or we might go a little bit past our saturation point. And this is definitely crucial for women, because I was on the base, and granted that small base was more of a controlled environment, but you know, and I had a pocket full of money on me. But what if, you know, I had been off the yard or been off base, or let's say if I was at the time, say back in the States or in a more dangerous area, okay, being helpless like that, you know, I could have got robbed, anything, you know what I'm saying, hurt, and I wouldn't have been able to defend myself because I was paralyzed, you know, basically from the neck down, paralyzed, you know. And granted, me and my boy, to this day, we laugh, you know, at that story. So even though, you know, yeah, it's funny and it's comical, but there's a message behind it, you know. Have a wingman, and definitely, I guess I would say know your limit, you know. Now sometimes I'm quite sure myself and many of you have been to where we might have maybe drank so much that we don't even realize that we're actually intoxicated, you know. It's like drinking yourself back sober again once you reach a saturation point, and then you're back sober. So, and then you take the next drink, and then you're totally wasted. That's probably what happened, except in my case, you know, I was like Christopher Reeve, you know. Hey, you know what happens. But for the guys, you know, if you're going to drink, ain't nothing wrong. Hey, you know, we've all done it. You're going to get your party on, you know what I'm saying? Have a wingman. Have somebody that's got your back and that's got some common sense. You know, we all need that. For the ladies, you know, please, if you're going to drink and go out, you know, make sure you got somebody or somebody's with you that is responsible and is going to have your back, because you don't want anything to go wrong if you get in a state like that, you know? So, That's my video right there, you know, but I just, you know, want you guys just to be safe. That's my lesson learned. Me and my boy both learned that. Even, like I said, it's comical, you know, because we both, you know what I'm saying, we're safe. But just have a wingman and make sure you got somebody that's got your back and that's going to be responsible. Please like the video, unlike the video, comment, share, subscribe. Eric Broadus, YouTube.com. That's me right there, you know. So hit me up, you know. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Peace. See you guys in the next one.